Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Today we will be talking about scalp health, length retention, hairstyling, wet to dry, and so much. Now, I'm sure you've already subscribed here to my channel and turned your post notifications on so you're notified every time I post another video. And I'm positive that you've already gave this video a thumbs up, right? But I've had these braids in for about a week and a half. So at this point, I am removing these braids from my head. But when you are having protective styles, be honest. Let me know in the comments if you notice that you end up sometimes with even more damage and no length retention after you take your protective styles down. Well, that is simply because one of the most important parts about your protective style is the way that you prep and the way that you prepare your hair for your protective style. So I've been being transparent with you guys for a year about hydronitis suppurativa. So if you're new to my channel, then you may not know why I have certain thin spots in my head, but check the links in the description box below to learn more about me before you make a little judgment, which leads me to the conversation that I want us to have right now. Most of you know how I feel about Tia and her new hair products, and you know how I feel about actors and social media people that don't know anything about hair making products. But I do want to talk about this because we got to do better. Listen.
You don't have to love me. You don't even have to like me. 'Cause I'm a boss.
Now, Tia, you know you lying. Is this old footage or did you add a track or two? Because that don't look like the same hair to me, baby.
I get it, I understand, but hear me out. Naturally straight hair swells when it is dry, and naturally curly hair swells when it is wet. So we know she's biracial, right? So when you look at her hair while it is wet, it looks bone straight, but also pay attention, she has two braids on each side of her head going straight to the back. She has her hair cut in a A-line bob, and her hair is thinnest when it is wet and thicker when it is dry. So this is why she has that drop in length, because she took those braids out. She's not trying to play y'all on that tip, y'all. So one thing that I want us to do is find a way to have more conversations, right? And collecting more data and really knowing what we're talking about before we attack each other, because what happens is we already have enough stuff against us, right? So then we end up pointing and putting targets on each other's backs for no reason when they don't need to be there. Now, I'm 100% in agreement that a whole lot of these celebrities are just creating product lines and they don't know anything about hair. You know the way I feel about that. But you guys, I really want you to call a spade a spade. And again, I could be wrong. I'm not the one who did her hair, but after being a licensed cosmetologist for over a decade, bobs were my cut. Like, that was my thing, right? So when somebody has an A-line bob, one thing that a lot of women who wear bobs do is wear that hairstyle, where sometimes they just want to have that short bob and they don't want that drop at the front, so they'll put two braids on their head. Like I said, look at her hair in that video. She has two big braids on each side of her hair, so it's only like the middle part of her hair that is even out, right, you guys? And so I really want us to start paying attention to the science, and that's why I always tell you guys, and I know it sounds like sometimes like I'm beating the dead horse, but I'm always talking about hydrogen bond, disulfide bond, salt bond, because I want you to understand how hair works, you know? So that way, if you see that, you'll say, you won't go, oh, she's scamming me. You'll go, okay, I see those two braids on each side of her head, and I also know that curly hair is thinnest when it is wet. So her hair is gonna look a lot thinner when it's wet than it does when it's dry. This is a fact, all right? So Anywho, I hope, let me know what you think about that. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe she did play a game, but I don't think that's what it is. I've done that style so many times, you guys. So let's get out of the routine. It's okay to, review products and stuff like that, but we don't always have to be like, you suck, you're a fraud, and you suck. It's like, because then it makes us look crazy if we're wrong, especially if you don't know 100%, right? All right, so at this point, like I said, I'm taking my braids down, and this is the take down that I do right before I get ready to color my hair. So in previous videos, right, when my hair would look like this, people would be like, oh, your hair is thin. But in reality, what you're seeing, I'm getting older, right? The more gray hair you see in my hair, the more transparent the rest of my hair is gonna look. And this is why. Even though you only see a couple of gray strands of hair in my hair right now, by the time I get to 80 or 90, all of my hair is going to be gray. So all of my hair is slowly losing melanin. So my hair is going to begin to look more and more transparent, right? You'll be able to see through my hair more, which in return will make it look thinner, especially if you're used to looking at my hair, right? If you're used to looking at it and it looks thick to you, and I don't have any color on my hair, which I haven't had for the last year, because when I am having outbreaks in my scalp, a bad outbreak in my scalp, I'm not coloring my hair. That's crazy. And I wouldn't color a client that had hidradenitis suppurativa if they were having an outbreak in their scalp, which I had a lot of clients that did. It was my specialty because I did deal with it, and a lot of women didn't even know that they had it until they would come and sit in my chair. So that's why you could see that my hair looks so much thinner this last year, but that was simply because I was not replenishing the melanin as it was leaving my hair. And no, there's nothing that you can do to prevent the melanin from leaving the hair shaft, but you can put it back in. So that's what we end up doing when it comes to hair color and things of that nature. Henna kind of works against you with hair color and stuff like that, but we'll talk about that another day, not today. But at this point, I am taking my braids out and I'm now detangling my hair as I am moving along. So even on the bald spot, you'll notice in the silk press video, it looks even thicker on that side, but that's because even though I have a lot of new growth there, the hair is a lot thinner as it's coming in, because each follicle has 1 to 4 strands in it, right? So a lot of those follicles had completely went bald and there was no hair there. So it's not going to look extremely full as soon as the hair starts coming in, because right now there are 1 to 2 hairs in each follicle, and eventually there'll be the complete 4 or 3 or however many in each follicle. So that is how it ends up working out on a scientific level. So you'll notice that as I am detangling my hair, I always grab the roots, and that is how I ensure that I'm not having any hair come out from the root, and the only hair that is actually going to be coming out is the hair that has already detached itself, the hair that is already supposed to shed, because remember, the average person loses anywhere between 50 to 150 strands of hair a day. All right, so yeah, and my hair had been braided up for almost 2 weeks. So that is what we're doing now. I really hope that makes sense. So at the end of the comb out, that is all of the hair that I had left. So now at this point, I'm parting my hair off and getting ready to put this color in. So the part that you see that looks a little wider than everything else, that was a complete and total bald spot, a complete round circle like a booty hole. Okay, like a booty hole right on top of my head, look like a booty hole. It used to, but not no more. It's just a little dot, a little snip dip. It's just a little snip dip now. But I'm just parting my hair off, and like I said, right now at this point, my natural hair color is like a darker, like sandy brown type of color that I really don't like that much. You know what I'm saying? So I always normally wear my hair like dark blue black, but this time around I only went and did one end. I just used a like one neutral, so just black, just a regular black tone, and that is it. And so I'm going ahead, parting my hair off in 4 sections, because this makes it easier for me, way easier for me to manipulate my entire head. And yeah, at this point I have already put the color in, and I was leaning my hair over the bathtub, so that's why my hair looks crazy, because everything was like sticking straight up. So now at this point, I'm just simply getting ready to blow dry my hair. So all I'm going to do at this point, I'm telling you, the place that most people mess up when we're talking about silk presses and stuff like that, I don't know what I'm talking about. Guru VIP has the full unedited clip. I don't know what I was talking about. But most people think that to do a silk press, you have to pack your hair full of product. I'm telling you, in the last video that you guys watched for the silk press, link in description box below, literally all I used in my hair from beginning to end after the shampoo was this leave-in conditioner. I'm showing you what a microfiber towel look like versus a regular cotton towel, because people always saying, oh, don't you use a t-shirt, don't use a towel, even though the t-shirt is made of cotton too. You just get a microfiber towel. That's what we use in salons, microfiber towels. Anyway, so now at this point, I'm going ahead and I'm putting my hair in 4 sections again. That's just how I work. And all I'm spraying in my head is this leave-in conditioner by Kimber. That is it, and that is all. I am not drenching my hair in 3 or 4 different products. I'm not doing the layering method, because the more products I lay on top of the hair shaft, the more products the heat has to react to. All right, most of the time when you're getting heat damage, what is happening is the heat is having a reaction to the products that you're putting on top of the hair shaft, because remember, the hair is a very, very, very thin fiber. So when you put products on, what you're doing is coating those fibers. So when you go to add heat, the heat is going to heat up those fibers inside of the cortex, and the cortex is where the bonds live. And the more bonds you have within the cortex, the more curls you have. So by you layering products on top of the hair and then adding heat and heating the bonds up within the cortex, you naturally heat train your hair, aka give yourself heat damage. So the key is just using as little product as you possibly can. And I want you guys to, this is the leave-in conditioner that I'm using, I want you to really pay attention. Like, go make sure you watch that last video that I did, and you'll see that my hair has so much shine in it, and all I use in my freaking hair is this leave-in conditioner, the heat protectant, and like a freaking drop of Kimber serum before I went under the dryer. That, like, a freaking drop, like half of a dime size amount. All right, because I have really oily hair. So look, barely spraying anything on my hair, okay? You do not need to saturate your hair, and that's the difference. I'm telling you, the difference between a good silk press and a bad silk press is the amount of products that you're layering on the hair shaft and the way that you blow out the hair. If you can get that blowout together and you can get the products right, the right amount of products on the hair, your silk press will be magical. And of course, there are certain little techniques that help to get to the job done, but for the most part, that's it. So, like, even look at my hair right now. All we've added is leave-in conditioner. You don't see like my hair dry. Like, you can see the shine in my hair while it's wet, right? But anywho, I want you to just pay attention to that. Pay attention to the fact that my hair is not dripping wet with products. If you use a product, I don't care who it's by, that's a cream, a putty, a butter, anything, you should never see the product that you're using dripping from your hair. If you use a twisting cream, for an example, and you see the product, like you can see white cream, not the product is wrong, but you use way too much product if you can see it dripping. So remember, less is more. If you use a whole lot of product, what will happen is the fiber that is your hair can only absorb so much product. So remember, and this is a fact, Google it. The hair shaft can only absorb about 35% of what you put on it. So anything past that 35% is just going to sit on your hair. So if you use a product and your hair feels heavy, or if you use a product and your hair is flaking, that doesn't mean that it's something wrong with the product. That means that you overused the product and your hair didn't absorb the rest of the product. Because remember, your hair is only going to absorb 35% of whatever you put on it. Anything after that is just going to sit on top of the hair shaft, and as it dries, it's going to fall off because it didn't go within the hair shaft. It just sat on top of it. All right, and as it sits on top of the hair shaft, as you comb it, it's going to begin to flake and fall off. So that is something that you have to be cautious of whenever you're dealing with product. Hydrogenated Supertiva, like I said, I was born with it, so no, that's not hair under my arms. Those are war wounds from my scars from HS. Mind your business, okay? Mind your business. But yeah, you guys, from the time that you saw me blow dry my hair or prep my hair for the blowout, nothing is on my hair except for the little bit of heat protectant that I sprayed, and I'm sorry, not heat protectant, a little bit of the leave-in conditioner that I sprayed, and then heat protectant. And then at this point, I'm going in, giving myself a little bit of a trim, but at this point, the whole maintenance process is pretty much done at this point. And this is something that I do on a regular basis. There is no real hit it and quit it quick fix. No, you guys know from following my journey that it takes time and patience and love and understanding for your own body, for your own hair, for your hair to grow back. Hair grows back. It's not a big deal. But if you grow it back with a hack, you'll grow the hair back, but how long will you keep it? How will the integrity of your hair be? Every haircut that I do, every style that I do, every layer that I put in is for a purpose. And I just want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me over these last 2 years of this, process with me having to cut my hair, having outbreaks in my scalp and things of that nature. But everything that you see is not how things go when it comes to hair. Hair is about illusions, all right? And as a hairstylist, as a cosmetologist, as a braider, it is your job to produce illusions with hair. That is what we do. So whenever you look at hair on a video, don't ever make a full judgment 100% on the health of somebody's hair, on the validity of a product or anything at face value, just looking without knowing the science of hair, understanding the science of hair, and having proper application processes. Because without that, we're just kind of making up stuff and shooting in the dark. All right, let me know in the comments of whether or not you like this style of video. I call this maybe podcast style, where I'm talking to you a little bit like this. But make sure you check the links in the description box below and subscribe to my podcast if you have not done so already, the Guru Podcast. You would freaking love it. And yeah, let's get out of here, guys.
Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget.